Hey guys, welcome to another part of the build log number 3. And as you can see, I've actually got the system completely set up here without cable management. So because this is the pre-build, this means that I'm going to test the hardware. What I'm going to do now is simply just boot up the computer for the first time to check whether every component works, because it might be that something doesn't work. Like I've had the problem once that motherboard doesn't work, or something is wrong with the motherboard, or something's wrong with the power supply, and what happens then is you pretty much have to redo your entire cable management, and that sucks quite hard. So I don't want to have that problem. This is why I always do a pre-build. So yeah, I connected every connection here that I need: the power, monitor, mouse, and keyboard, although I'll just be booting and shutting it down if I see that it's all working. But okay, let's try this and see what it gives, and hopefully everything works. And then we have 2 LEDs burning on the graphics card apparently. So far everything's okay, and this should be it. Alright. CPU or memory change, please enter setup to configure system. F1. Alright, nice. As you can see, it works. The beeping wasn't the regular boot, but that was just because of the first boot that we're doing ever. And as you can see, if I'm not mistaken, I can use my mouse or not? No. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the click BIOS here. And I can go to settings apparently. I can boot the system, save and exit. Let's check out some advanced stuff. No, I can't use my mouse. Perhaps it's a setting somewhere else. I'll check that in the manual later on. But whatever, alright, the system works, as you can see, and what we're gonna do now is take the system basically just apart again. I'm gonna I'm going to take out all the components. Well, I'm going to do the cable management. This is gonna be the hardest part. It's always the hardest part of building a computer, in my opinion at least. It's just doing the cable management, and it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge because it's a smaller case, and it's not a very wide case, so there's not too much space between the motherboard tray and the side panel. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. But first, because someone asked, I'm gonna do a small review of the case. So let me take everything out, or take most of the things out, and then I'll do that little review. Alright, let's have a quick look at this case, and let's start with the interior, as currently I only have the interior right here. So we have a 120mm blue intake fan right here. We have a hard drive cage, but on top there's normally another hard drive cage. I don't have it right here at the moment, but yeah, there's another hard drive cage right here for a total of 5 hard drives, I think. And yeah, there's actually the bottom one right here, is toolless, so they have that thing right there. So you can actually make that loose, comes out, and then you can slide out the hard drive. So that's pretty useful right there. It's quite sturdy, so that's very good. Now you've got kind of the same for the 5¼ devices. So you have the 5¼ devices here. You have 3 bays for that, and there's also a one toolless thing included for that. And yeah, it's practically the same way of doing it, just like that. But I'd suggest at least using a few more screws right here, because it moves a little, so might be nicer if you actually added some screws there. Then on the front panel you have 2 USB 2 ports, microphone, headphone jack, and 3 USB 2 ports, and 1 USB 3 port, and you have the reset button right here and the power button right there. And then finally there's also the 2 3.5-inch device bays right here. And they are not tools, by the way. Now the interior, this is actually quite nice to see with a budget case. It's around 50 euros, so that's actually quite good. If you see that there's cable management holes right here, and a very big one right there. A lot of punch outs as well. And the interior is all black. And there is a dust filter underneath the power supply. There is another 120mm fan right there. And yeah, actually that's very, very good for a budget case. Now the expansion slots side here, they are removable, but you can't replace them, so that's one thing that you have to take note of. And you also have two grounded holes here, but not really for water cooling, because I don't really think that you can do water cooling in this case, because it's probably not really big enough, or perhaps for an exterior radiator or something. But you will have to use one of these for the USB 3 cable from the front panel at least, because where's the cable itself? Alright, here. It's one like this, so there's no direct connector to the motherboard, which would have been nice though, but probably that's an expensive connector. Okay, so quickly right here on my old bed, which I don't use anymore, I've got not a lot of things actually laid out, but anyway, right here there's the other hard drive cage, and that's for 3 hard drives, so in total there's 5 hard drives, as I said. And then right here there's a front panel. It's quite shiny and it looks quite nice, and with the Cool Master logo right there. This is all mesh, by the way. And we have a look at the inside of the front panel. You can see that there's a dust filter right there, so that's also very good. Certainly still considering that it is a budget case. Another very nice, very nice, is that, let's have a look at this side panel here. Very sleek window, no option for a side panel fan, and normally I'd say perhaps, oh, maybe they should have added that, but still it looks nicer if they don't do that when there's a window, so I really like that they didn't add another fan option here. Although on the version without a window there is an optional fan option there. So alright, very nice window. And the other side panel has just been left plain like that. So yesterday I uploaded a video where I kind of forgot to unbox the graphics card, but here it is. Let's have a quick look at this. So we have the graphics card. It has 2 fans, and this one is a little different from this one, because this one is thicker, and this one's heatsink here comes a bit more to the top here. So there's two different fans here, but with reason. Alright, so we have 2 6-pin power connections here. The Asus logo, 1 SLI bridge, and then there's an HDMI port, 2 HDMI, then there's a display port and 2 DVI ports, like that. And yeah, the motherboard connector, of course. That's basically it for this graphics card. You can see the heat pipes right there, going to the heatsink. If you can see it, here's the GPU, so that's where it touches the heatsink. And then there are 3 heat pipes going to that heatsink as well. And there's little heat sinks on the memory banks here. So that's pretty nice. Alright, so because of the front panel cables, I wanted to have some room here for the power supply cables, and I know that the front panel cables always kind of are in the way, so I found this cable management hole right here. Alright, at least I think it's a cable management hole. Mostly they are, of course. But anyway, I discovered that I could probably just do let the front panel cables go through here, right next to the DVD writer, which I'll then just mount right here on the bottom 5¼ inch bay, and I'll route them through here, through this hole, and then right here. Then I can actually route them through this hole perhaps, or maybe if there's space through this big hole here right next to the power supply, and then I have a lot of more room here for the power cables. And also because of this edge here, actually, because there's an edge here, as you can see, and that kind of blocks the option of letting many cables go like that, you know, passing like that, like here, if I let them go like that, and then like underneath there, because there's always too much cable, but whatever. That's the first idea I came up with, so I'm gonna try to actually figure out how much cable I need to go through here, or through here, but probably through here, and then I'll just make sure that I measure everything correctly, and then I'm gonna strip down these cables like somewhere here, or whatever, perhaps with a few clips or zip ties, and well, I'll see what I can do with that. But yeah, that's the first idea. Second idea I had also was to sleeve the cable of this fan that you have in the rear of the case. So I'm probably gonna sleeve this cable just to have a nice look, so that it's not gonna look too shiny between all the other hardware if you look through the window, so that's gonna look really nice. And actually, I also noticed that there's an option here to install a SSD. At least I think this is for an SSD, but yeah, I think that these holes here allow you to install an SSD, so that's also really nice about this case. And yeah, I'm gonna measure that now and see what else can be done with cable management. And also, I also already routed the USB 3 cable here. So I routed that, let it go through here, through the top, behind this edge. Use the zip tie here to keep it in place, and that's just going right there. So that's about it. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next sorry, I'll see you guys in the next update. Alright, so the front panel connections are connected. This is the first step here. I've did some zip tie here, a black one of course, for this side at least. And I've got another black zip tie here, another zip tie here, another zip tie here. Also the fan got connected as well, the front fan here. It's also connected on the motherboard there. Then we've got a zip tie here, a zip tie holding it to the case here. So we have room for the cables of the hard drive as well here. So that's all going up there in this hole out here, right next to the DVD writer. Another zip tie here, and then on to the front panel connections here. And I can put on the front panel of the case. Just there. There we go. It's on. So we have the front panel connections coming out here, looking really nice and tidy. And here it's just right there that you can see these cables, so that looks really nice already. Alright, so I connected the hard drive and the DVD writer. So I put a SATA power cable here, and just routed it behind everything here. So right here I routed it. Goes up first to the DVD writer, like right here, and then you have a setup of the DVD going here, and it will go to that hole here, right here, and then you've got the power going back down to the hard drive right here, and there's also the SATA from the hard drive going from here all up here, and there's also the SATA coming from the DVD writer, and they go through this hole, and then in the connectors of the motherboard. Alright, and as I said I was going to do, I sleeved the cable of the fan, so the fan for the rear of the case. So it's gonna look quite nice, I think. Alright, and welcome back to another update here. Basically I'm actually almost finished here. All I have to do is install the graphics card and the graphics card power connection, so the PCI power. And yeah, as you can see I installed the fan, and that's the sleeved cable here. You can barely see it, and that's exactly what I wanted. So yeah, I'll just do that. And there's one problem I have with this case, and that is that there is no cable management hole right there. But of course that's to be expected with these kind of cases, but still it would be nice to have one there. Now I have to route the cable like that, and this will go behind the graphics card, and that's the only way I can really route it to make it look nice. And yeah, let's do the graphics card now, and actually I'll finish up the cable management on the other side. And I guess that will be it, and then I'm gonna boot it and install Windows on it. And alright, it's finished, so we can boot the system now. But first let's have a look at the cable management. So as you can see here, I didn't route the graphics card PCI power behind the motherboard tray, and that is because the cables that came with the power supply aren't really long enough to do that. So I just routed them like this, but that is no problem because the window will be over here, something like that. So you won't really see this cable, something like that perhaps, and only that part of this cable. So that's no problem because otherwise normally you'll see this part anyway, like when it's going over there. But yeah, whatever. It's not really a big difference here. But whatever. Let's have a look at the other side, where I finished up the cable management as well. As you can see, this is the 24 power cable. Used all the punch outs here. The cable management here is still the same with the front panel connections. There's one front panel connection I didn't route through here, but that is the audio and microphone, and that one I let go through here. A little bit of zip tying here. There wasn't a punch out, so I added this, and then connected there on the other side of the motherboard. And this is the 4-pin CPU cable, which we don't need, so I just mounted this using a punch out and a zip tie here. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put the side panel on and put the covers here as well, and then I'm gonna boot it and try to install Windows. And very quickly here, this is what the system looks like with the side panel, the right side panel on. So that looks quite clean. And by the way, as you can see, I also put a zip tie here for this extension here, which we don't need. And I also zip tied the CPU fan there, the little CPU fan cable. And the 8-pin power cable goes behind the graphics card. And that over there, that is the power for, well, that is the, sorry, not the power, that is the connection for the mic and audio front panel connection. So yeah, let's get over to some installation. Okay, so I've got the entire setup set up here. He actually also brought me his monitor and keyboard, and this is actually one of my mice. But he actually brought this, so I'm going to use this during the installation, so I don't have to use mice gear for that, so I can actually have my other PC running as well and work on that while the installation is going. Anyway, yeah, let's do the boot. I think I have to. Alright, and let's go. Reboot and select proper boot device. When inside boot media, select boot device and press the key. Alright. I'm gonna continue doing this installation, and I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright, and it's evening now, so the room is a bit darker. But anyway, Windows installed, and also the drivers are installed, and the computer is actually ready, so the client can come pick it up. And yeah, what I have over there is CPU-Z and hardware monitor. And as you can see, let me zoom in. This is the Core i5 processor. It's currently running at a multiplier of 16, but of course with turbo boost and everything, which well, it's all on, so I turned everything like that on. It can go up to I think it is like 3.8 gigahertz or something like that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, something like that. And it seems to work quite nicely. And then over here we have the temperatures, so you can see the CPU core temperatures there. So they're quite low. My room temperature at the moment is 24.5 degrees Celsius, so that's actually quite good. Now let's have a look at the system once again, or once more, before I put it in the box. So let me take this out of the tripod. Alright, so yeah, this is the case. You have the blue LED fan in front there, and the hardware activity, the hard drive activity LED there. No power LED though. Might have been nice if there was one inside the power button here, but they didn't do that. And inside here we have the window. So hi, you can see me. So in there you see those blue lights over there. That's the CPU face. Those are 4 CPU face LEDs. And as you can see, or as you can't see, haha, what a joke. The cable is for the cable for the fan is right over there, but you cannot really see it, which is exactly what I wanted. So that's nicely hidden because of the cable sleeving. And as I said, this is all you see of the cable for the power of the graphics card, and a little bit here. And overall, there was less light. Let me turn off the lights of my room here. And like this, it also doesn't really work. But it works if I have this little light over here in the dark. So this is actually all you see of the system inside through the window. And actually I really like it like this. It looks really cool. It looks very sleek, and the window looks very sleek as well, which is really nice. I really love this window. So yeah, I see that Coolmaster actually makes nice windows these days without any side panel fan options, so I really like that. And yeah, I can't get enough of watching this. It's always the same with me, always trying or keeping looking at hardware. But anyway, I'm gonna start packing this case now, so I'm gonna put everything in a box. I'm gonna tell my client he can come pick it up in the weekend. And yeah, that'll be it. And there we go, it's all done. The computer, the entire rig is inside the box right there. And my client's monitor is there as well, and all the other things like his keyboard and the stand of his monitor is there, and as also all the boxes of all the hardware he bought. So that's all for him. He's gonna pick that all up in the weekend. So yeah, that's basically it. I cleaned up the computer as well for you know, fingerprints. Those that were visible, I cleaned them all off. So it's gonna be nice and new looking when he unboxes everything. So yeah, this is how I can do computer builds for clients. And well, that was it for this build, and I'll see you guys in the next video.